Welcome to our posts. Today we will see stories of am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for telling all my kids it's so my inheritance and not using it to get them out of debt? I have 3 kids, they all decided to go to expensive colleges. I paid for their books, and gave them money for food plan, but tuition was on them. They knew from the beginning that college would be on them. My youngest took some community college classes that to save money. The rest of the kids didn't do much to lower their expenses. They are all out of college and a whole bunch of debt. My mother passed away and she gave me the house. I am selling it for around $500K. I plan use some of it for a big vacation and then the rest to go into my retirement fund. I decided to let the kids have a look at the home first before it went on the market. It's a really nice area and the house is great. They were surprised by the amount and all of them couldn't afford it. I told them I plan to sell it soon. This started argument about how I came into so much money but don't plan to give them any of it. I told them it is my inheritance from my mother. She wanted me to have this. Argument escalated even more and they want me to pay of their school debt. If I did that it would take 3/4 of my inheritance. So I told them no. I reminded them that when I die they will have their own inheritance from me, but I am not dead yet. They get pissed at me. Edit, for everyone asking why don't I give them their inheritance now? The answer is I am not dead. I can't sell our home and give them that money since I need to live in it. I can't drain my retirement fund since I need it to retire. Top comments. If your mother wanted them to have money, she would have put it in her will. You told them that they would have to pay for their own tuition. They are adults. You provided for them when they are children, but they chose to attend their schools and accepted that it would put them in debt. Not the a-hole. Opie replies. The debt annoys me. I tried to get them to go to cheaper colleges but they didn't. I really tried to get them to go cheaper. Kinda worked for my youngest. 2 of them went to private colleges that were around $60K a year. That doesn't included room and board. One of them turned down almost a free ride since the college wasn't up to their standards. It was a good state college in our area. I truly don't think it helped them in the long run. The degrees they came out with doesn't correlate with the debt they got in. Info, how old are your kids? I am nearly 40 and grew up in a time when college was pushed heavily on students and student loans were seen as a must. As a teacher I see the expectations have shifted for students. I'm not sure if this is true of all schools, but the school I work in pushes for students to take on an apprenticeships for the trades or start out in community college. At the end of the day, it is your money and you made it clear to your children that higher education was their responsibility. But I also remember not getting much information on alternatives to going straight into debt from a 4-year school in order to be successful. Opie replies. 27, 29 and 31. So question, what was the point of I let them see the house, when A, they got nothing out of that other than looking at a nice house that would never be theirs because you're selling it, and B, what was the point, especially in letting them know the sell amount, when you knew off top you wouldn't share or want to have this conversation? You're coming to Reddit and asking, but it's like, I could see if these were your estranged siblings. They're your children and you're condemning them in your choice of words for wanting better for their lives, in reference to good higher education universities. Glad for your youngest in community college. If they only went to community, that means they only get an AA, and that severely limits their job pool. Compared to your other children who are obviously striving for bachelor's degrees and higher, there is a reason why people strive for higher education, and it's not because they want to be students for most their life. A lot of kids dream of their parents paying for their schooling. You didn't have the means to before. This gave them hope. I don't think it's much deeper than that. They'll get over it, they know it's not their money, that's why they're upset because they hoped you'd share anyway. Your kids will be in debt now and hopefully get high-paying jobs that will bring back investment by 10x, and that will be their money. This post just reads weird. You are not the a-hole for the title because again, it is your money. You are the a-hole when it comes to life lessons because in situations like this you will always be recommended to just cash out and keep quiet, because people are obviously going to ask, justified or not. Sharing and then being confused that the expectation is that you're willing is what will get you in this situation. So in the future, you probably should keep to yourself. Anyone I've ever known who has borrowed against their inheritance or somehow got it early has led a financially irresponsible life. This isn't some kind of emergency. They just want to make their life easier with your money. Follow your mother's wishes and enjoy your retirement. Opie replies. Oh, I still got 10 years left to work, sadly. It will help a lot though, and make sure we are in a safe spot for when we retire. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my birth family to my wedding even when my sister offered to pay for them? I was placed for adoption at birth. My older, bio, sister was placed when she was 5 months old. We're 3 years apart in age and we were adopted by the same parents and raised in the same family. I also have other siblings I grew up with who have no bio connection to me. My sister tried to rope me into a birth family search, but I told her I didn't want to find them and offered her my support from the outside, but that was as much as I was willing to give. She found them 5 years ago and has been in regular contact with them since. Our family supported this, and my parents have met my birth parents in an effort to support my sister, but I still choose not to meet them or have them in my life. My sister has passed letters to me from them and has been trying for years to get me to agree to meet with them and build a relationship. They keep saying how much it hurts them that I want nothing to do with them. She passes this on to me and tells me how much it hurts her that I won't be a part of this with her because our connection as blood-related siblings is huge and now we have more blood-related family, her way of putting it. I told her there is no part of me that wants to meet them and nothing I want from them. She told me she knows I have to want answers, and I said no, I already know the answers. They were young when they had us and didn't want to be parents at that time. She asked how I knew that, and I told her I did listen to her after she met them for the first time. It's been so messy. I get letters from them about once a month and I try giving them back to no avail, so I dispose of them and have never read them. I'm not interested. I can't be more clear than that. Now I'm getting married and my sister fought for them to be invited. She offered to pay for them to come and told me she would cover all the costs associated with their place on the guest list, and I still said no. She called me crying after she had been at their house because they were so upset to be missing it. She said, "Our bio dad wants to walk you down the aisle," and I told her that's not going to happening and that them being upset wasn't a strong motivator for me. I also warned her that the place we're getting married at has security and we already added them to our package. My fiancé has a couple of family members we need to have monitored in case they get too drunk, and I can easily pass on info about our birth family to keep them out if she tries sneaking them in. My sister said I'm being unreasonable. My parents assured me they support me either way but want me to know I don't need to take my stance for their sakes. We had this discussion before too, and they'd be fine with them coming. My sister said if mom and dad don't care I should want my whole family at my wedding, and I told her they will be. I don't consider our birth family my family for real. Her reaction was even stronger when the invites were sent out and our birth family didn't get any. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole. Good grief. The biological father wants to give Opie away a second time. Did he think he was fostering out his 2 daughters till he was ready to claim them as his heirs? Opie replies. Our birth parents always hoped we would all reconnect one day and become the family they were too young for us to be at the time. That's what they told my sister and what she believes. I believe it too. And I don't hate them. But I feel no inner desire to have that be our reality. They're just random strangers in my eyes. Not the a-hole. You get to choose what place your adoptive parents have in your life. It's good that they realized that they didn't have the wherewithal to be good parents when they were kids having kids, because it sounds like that choice has given you a secure, happy upbringing. Adoption can involve a lot of big, strong feelings for adoptees, and there's often some degree of psychological trauma involved. Their choices and their mental health should be the priority. For some adoptees, that means it can run the gamut between feeling desperate to connect with the bio family and not wanting anything to do with them. None of those choices are wrong, and every adoptee needs to make the choice for themselves. Your bio family can be very important to your sister, and nobody to you. The reason she's the a-hole here is because she's insisting that you have to want the same things she wants and consider your genetic donors to be family. She doesn't get to decide how you relate to them any more than she gets to decide who should be your romantic partner or where you should work. It was okay for her to be excited, and okay for her to encourage you to get to know them the first time, but once you made your feelings known, she needed to stop. When your sister gets married, she can have her bio family there. She can have her bio dad walk her down the aisle instead of her adoptive dad if she wants to. But you know what? Your sister isn't getting married, you are. And your sister can stay in her lane. Your position on your bio family has been perfect, clear and unwavering. If your bio family is unhappy with your disinterest in ever meeting them or having anything to do with them, well, that sucks for them and they will have to manage their disappointment. This whole wedding drama over the guest list and people arguing and whining and guilt-tripping about who should be in the guest list is why some people just elope. But, Opie, if you want to go through with the wedding as planned, you can firmly tell your sister you are quite willing to go through with it with one more person struck from the guest list, and that would be her, if you hear another peep out of her about her bio parents. Because you are sick of it. You are done. And good for you for having security at your venue. Not the a-hole. The cheek of your bio dad wanting to walk you down the aisle. What Hallmark movie syrupy nonsense has he been mainlining that he might think that you, Opie, a grown woman that has declined to ever even meet him, would ever let him have such a role, or even be invited to your wedding? Oh, yes, he thinks, I contributed sperm to create you, some decades ago, here, let me have an honored guest role in your wedding. In fact, I demand it. Opie, he might have been young when you were conceived, but he did it twice, you and your sister, so close in age, knowing good and well he and bio mom didn't have the wherewithal to care for you. Once, an unplanned pregnancy can happen. But twice. And him and his daughter pressuring you. Apple tree. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. They can blame being too young on having your older sister. You were born 3 years later. If they weren't ready to have a child and already made the mistake once, they clearly did not learn their lesson, and it sounds like they're not going to learn lessons now. How on earth your bio father thinks he has business walking you down the aisle is beyond me. He gave you away at birth. He doesn't get the privileges of being a father if he gave 2 children away. Hold your ground on this one, and your sister needs to let this go, or she's going to create as big a distance between you and her as exists with your bio parents. Opie replies. They didn't, but they were still really young when I was born, so I get it to a point. But that doesn't mean I somehow can magically change how I feel either, and I explained that to my sister. But she's like, oh, they were just too young. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling out my sister-in-law in front of everyone when she wouldn't stop making comments about me trying to be a sexy baby? I'm 27F. I'm a very short woman, 4 feet 9 inches, and under 100 pounds. I don't want to complain about being small, but there are a lot of people out there, ESP. Other women, who will not take us seriously, are judgmental, make snide comments, assume attraction to us is nefarious, etc. A lot of comments that imply we're not real women, etc. I'm used to it and usually let it roll off my back. But there's a new one that's picked up momentum that I guess stems from a TV show where a girl is putting on a childish act and she says, I'm a very sexy baby, in a cutesy voice, and there's a lot more to it that you can just Google. My sister-in-law Cassie has picked this up and has been using this against me. I can't wear a cute outfit without her coming down on me and chiding me for buying into the whole sexy baby thing when I am just wearing an outfit. I'm just trying to be me. God forbid I wear a shorter skirt or bows or anything I think is cute. It's like I'm not allowed to wear cute or sexy things because I'm petite, so I'm automatically seen as trying to be a sexy baby when I'm not. I've asked Cassie to stop or drop it, and she maintains that I'm the one opening myself up to judgment and I should dress my age. This came to a head last weekend when we were in my auntie's backyard at the pool. I took off my wrap so I could hang with my feet in the pool with my cousins, and Cassie immediately said, "You're a very sexy baby," at me and twirled imaginary pigtails. I raised my voice and said, "That's a really weird thing to keep saying. What is your problem with me? Why do you keep bringing up that I'm small?" She started to turn red and she yelled back again that I'm the one that's choosing to walk around looking like the sexy baby. I said that I'm literally just wearing a bathing suit, a one-piece halter, and asked her what I should be wearing instead if that's such a problem. She yelled back that I should dress like a grown adult and to stop trying to cause a scene in front of everyone. I said whatever and just tried to ignore her. Later on we ended up inside at the same time and she came down on me for calling her out in front of everyone. I told her to stop trying to make me feel bad for being small, that I didn't choose this body. She rolled her eyes and told me to grow the F up, and that trying to start crap with her is even more proof. I am at a loss here and I'm starting to just not want to be around my family because of her. It's not enough that I get this crap from women at work, at the gym, basically anywhere, now it's in my family. Am I the a-hole for calling her out? Or even for just, I don't know, existing in my own body? Edit. Hey, I'm adding this in because I can't respond to every comment, but it's my brother's wife, he doesn't care. We've never been close / gotten along. He'll always take her side. Other people in my family are very hands-off / handle your business yourself. Just the way they are. Also, Cassie isn't fat, she's just average height. Top comments. Not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law does seem obsessed with calling you out for checking notes. Wearing clothes. This is not sexy clothing. It's just small, because, well, you're petite. Enlist your brother in talking to her about this. Let her know that it needs to stop now. It's siziest, you've asked her stop, and she hasn't. It's time to establish firm boundaries and enforce them. Not the a-hole. This woman is flat out body shaming you. If this is your brother's wife, he should be getting her to back off. If it's your husband's sister, he should be intervening. Either way, this woman is a bully who thought she could mock you with impunity and pass it off as friendly teasing. Clearly she didn't expect you to call her out on it. Edit. And can I just point out the irony of this woman making fun of your size when she's clearly that small one here? Not the a-hole. Detach emotionally, because Cassie resents you for looking the way you do, because there's something she wants about it. The same is true for other women. They're being petty and small emotionally, when they want to be petty and small physically. It's political, it's gross, and you didn't get to choose, just like them. Small equals feminine, is something they resent, and they see it in you, which isn't your problem. Keep cool, talk to the person who's looping Cassie into your sister-in-law by married to a sibling, talk to your sibling, and if that doesn't work and she keeps doing it, refocus. Forget the insult that is baby. Focus on the fact that your sister-in-law calls you sexy against your wishes. Make it weird for her. Cassie, ooh, look who's being all sexy baby today. You, Cassie, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, don't call me sexy. Don't call me baby. I don't want to have sex with you or date you. I won't ever want to have sex with you or date you. It's so uncomfortable when you call me sexy. She's either going to short circuit or say something like, no. I'm trying to be mean to you. You, by calling me sexy. What the F are you talking about, Cassie? Act like you've never heard the term sexy baby. Make her explain what the F her problem is, and don't play for her, play for the crowd. She's trying to shame you. Make it bite her in the face. Not the a-hole, for wearing cute clothes or for being you. Just because you're petite doesn't give her the right or anybody the right to call you sexy baby or tell you dress your age when clearly you are. She's probably jealous or just thinks she's funny. Please tell your husband. But if she does it in front of everyone and he hasn't said anything yet? Either way, keep confronting her and calling her out until she learns her lesson to respect other women who are just trying to live. Edit. You should call her out every time. I stand by that, since brother will do nothing / family. Clearly she has a problem and you have to solve it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. Our posts